Hey everyone, so today we're going to talk about this single most critical piece of any AI project. And no, it's not some super fancy algorithm or a crazy powerful computer. It's something way more fundamental. It's the real unsung hero of the whole show, data quality.
All right, let's just jump right in. I want to ask you a question, one that keeps teams up at night. What's the number one reason most AI projects completely fall flat? Is it a lack of money, bad models, maybe a flawed strategy?
Well, the answer? It might surprise you, because more often than not, it has absolutely nothing to do with how complex the algorithm is. Nope. The real culprit? It's the fuel that powers the whole AI engine. It's the data.
So let's talk about AI's unseen foundation. To really get why data can be such a weak link, you've got to remember what AI is at its core. It's not magic, right? It's basically a super powerful pattern-finding machine, and its entire understanding of the world is completely shaped by the data you give it.
Okay, so when we throw around this term data quality, what are we really talking about? Well, it's pretty simple. It's just a measure of how accurate, how reliable, and how up-to-date your data is for whatever you're trying to do. Or to put it another way, is this data actually any good for the job at hand?
Here's the best way to think about it. Data is the fuel for your AI. Seriously, if you pour contaminated, low-quality gas into a Ferrari, guess what? That car isn't going to run smoothly, if it runs at all. It's the exact same idea here. Your AI model, no matter how brilliant and sophisticated it is completely at the mercy of the data you feed it.
All right, now for the problem of bad data. So what actually happens when that fuel, that data, is bad? Well, it sets off this ripple effect that can, and often does, bring the entire project crashing down.
We're talking about the classic butterfly effect. A tiny, and I mean tiny, seemingly harmless error in just one single data point can cascade through the whole system. And the result? Massive, totally unpredictable problems down the road. And believe me, this chain reaction happens all the time. Let's take an example. Imagine a telecom company, right? They're trying to predict which customers are going to leave. It all starts with one tiny error, maybe just a typo in someone's data usage. From that one little mistake, the model learns a completely flawed pattern. What happens next? It makes a bad prediction, flagging a perfectly happy customer as someone who's about to churn, and then the company wastes time and money trying to keep a customer who was never going to leave in the first place. All of that from a single typo. So this is when good models go bad. And the crucial thing to get here is that this isn't just some small technical glitch we're talking about. This leads to very real and often very expensive consequences for the business. Let me give you another way to picture this. If your data is the foundation of a skyscraper you're building, it doesn't matter how amazing the architectural design is. If that foundation is cracked, the whole building is at risk of collapsing. It's that serious. So when it comes down to it, you're really looking at two totally different paths. On one side, you've got high-quality data that leads to reliable predictions, smart decisions, and ultimately a successful project. But on the other side, poor quality data puts you on a one-way street to inaccurate insights, wasted resources, and complete project failure. The stakes really couldn't be any higher. Okay, let's talk about building a strong foundation. We've laid out the problem, and yeah, it's a big one. So the obvious next question is, what do we do about it? How can we fix this? How do we build that strong data foundation right from the get-go? The solution is something called a robust data governance framework. And look, let's go back to that car analogy. You wouldn't just drive your car until it breaks down on the side of the road before you even think about getting an oil change, right? Of course not. Well, data governance is exactly that. It's the proactive, regular maintenance for your data. So what does this maintenance actually look like? It really boils down to a core three-step process. First, you put quality checks in place to catch errors early. Second, you profile and cleanse your data. Basically, you get to know it and then you clean up the mess. And third, and this is so important, you monitor it continuously. This is not a set it and forget it kind of thing. It's an ongoing job.
Which brings us to a final way to think about all of this. Your data, your garden. Seriously, maybe the best analogy of all is to stop thinking about your data like it's a warehouse full of stuff and start thinking about it like it's a living garden.
So before we wrap up with that garden idea, let's just quickly hit the key takeaways. Number one, data quality is the fuel for AI success, period. Number two, even the tiniest errors can cause catastrophic project failures. And number three, proactive data governance isn't just a good idea, It's really the only solution.
And that brings us right back to the garden. Because here's the thing about high-quality data. You don't just find it lying around. It has to be cultivated. It needs constant care, constant attention, and real work to help it grow and flourish.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. As you look at the data that's supposed to be powering your own AI projects, is your data garden actually being taken care of? Is it ready to grow? Thanks so much for tuning in.